Nonetheless, we'll do it anyway. Welcome everyone to day number 2 of the MET series. For those of you guys who haven't watched day 1, you can go and find it on the side here as well. And for those of you guys who have, welcome back. It is the I guess the Asian equivalent to the Grand Slam event that was played in Stockholm a little week ago. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's day number 2 out of 3. There's 6 games to be played today. You can of course scroll through them as you please, but I hope you'll be watching along. We'll have a good time. So let's get straight into it. The plane is gonna come in. It's gonna come in on the northern side, and I'm interested in seeing 3 guys on the other side now. This was a discussion we had in the previous video. How much VG is gonna try and contain gen.g. And this time around, because they in the first couple of games, they were just North George versus South George. Not a lot more to it. But, I was not expecting to see this. I thought that now that they have the control, they would just go back to playing the northern side. This is interesting. And Esther, well, I mean, he got beaten to his vehicle. I don't think that Esther, well, you can see he's flying for it, right? He's not expecting there to actually be anyone crashing this side, but QF takes it and then he runs down to ruins instead. That is that's a tough start. I think we can say that. Any interesting things now? Vici, Severny, they have once again pushed out. I would like to see Southern playing and see what Nova Monster does, because they've gone up here the last couple of games. 7, they're once again down here. And also if Vipo, if they actually scout something or they don't crash, and we get the Clubber banned. He said that there's good loot in ruins. Yeah, exactly. He has to run through the whole thing, and I guess the closest potential spawn would be up here, or if he's lucky and he gets the hard spawn, which is not gonna happen because Macau just took that. So he could have a garage spawn in there. Yeah, that's a long run no matter what happens. There's a hard spawn inside ruins? Huh. I didn't know that. In any case, let's see what happens. Circle Pups. Well, they get to stick around now. This is interesting because gen.g is split. gen.g is pretty damn split with Esther being over by ruins. How do they get together? Are they forced to then take Everest control? Esther would have to run there. That's going to be time consuming. Especially considering that he just got to his first building to loot. And also for TKO, they're 3-way splitting Gatka. What are they gonna commit to? I would assume them to sit up here, but you never know. You never know. Wait, I was just gonna say, I don't know why, but it's a pretty common thing for teams that loot in. Can I open this link without it being a? Oh, it's this thing. We'll just see. Yep, there is a vehicle spawn. Alright. Vehicle spawn in ruins. I was not aware of that. Thank you guys for showing me the way. Boop. So, I don't know why it's a thing, but I always feel like the Pachinki team, they're the first ones to Everest. I remember when Method, back in the day, Andy and Chris and the guys, they would always in the Northern Circle, have a pretty free passage for the first guy to just crash up to Everest. Like, they would always be the first team to take Everest back in the day. But I don't know. I guess it's just a thing that Pachinko teams do. Full control of Everest. Wicked, he's up there again. QF, he's going to run up on foot. 2 vehicles for VG here. They're going to go over. Esther found his car. He's going to drive. Oh, that's a ballsy rotation. Straight through the middle. Look at this from Esther. Just goes over. No big fear. I can make it over to my friends. And he does. That's a... Pachinki always has good plane. Yeah, it's true. Liquid always does it. That's what I'm saying. This is like Pachinki 2. Mandatory Pachinki stop if you're your team. So, somehow Esther manages to get over to his teammates. That's pretty impressive. I'm gonna try and move this a little further right so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And we'll zoom it out a little bit too. Vipo. Oh, they're low. Okay, so they're rotating late on this one, and they're actually rotating slow too. Running stops to scout. I like this. This is just exactly how you want to do it. Hilltop, scout for your teammates. They drive further. They go up. Stop. Is he gonna continue driving now? Yes, thank you. Fucking leapfrog all the way up. Love to see it. He goes up, and now they split and take control. Thank you, Vibo, for showing us exactly how you scout and rotate. The last ones they had down here, don't look at that, guys. Don't look at that. Just this is how we want to do it. But everyone's in the center, up and around here. Everest is... Ooh. Oh. That's an interesting one. Keep in mind, it's only circle 2, so it can still go anyway. Or anywhere. It doesn't have to go south. But of course, statistics show us that odds are that it will indeed stay on the southern side. Only thing is, how many teams do you want to crash? Like, from which position can you even crash into Georgia Pole at this point? If you're coming from the south, and this guy, man, he is finding open spots in situations where you shouldn't be able to find them. He is literally running all the time. He is the guinea pig for his team. That is insane. I want to see the games tomorrow. How much running is just gonna full speed send it as soon as circles pop. 4 teams on Everest. That's gonna be a yikes. Can say that already. Only 1 team really committing. And no, they're not. Aha, smart play. Monster Shield taking control of the southern side too. Free pass between the bridge. Free pass as well, and they can go back if they want to as well. So smart play from all the teams in take control. Have a good one, Dofus. Take care. And now, of course, with late rotations coming in, they know that everybody in this circle will be coming in from the southern side. And, well, it's just, this just becomes a huge speed bump. If you're a team south wanting to rotate around, you could go up and sit down here. The thing is, next circle would have to shift away from water, and odds are it's going to go back down here to some extent. RQ, they're going to be sitting. I mean, they're just going to stay. Maybe you should send 1 guy up, but the fear of getting crashed is pretty big, so you might want to stick around for a little while longer. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 teams, 5 with Supac. 6 teams now on Everest. Nobody wants to crash into Georgia Pole, obviously, but Everest can be even more scary because you don't have any hard cover. Like, you don't have anywhere to just chill and be on your own. There's always teams that you can either shoot at or they can shoot at you. Whereas if you're in a building, you can just find a corner, right? 17 trying to rotate around. They're going to try and take some city control, and this is exactly what we expected. It's going to go down there. And, well, I mean, if you're south, you're just going to chill. But if you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, arguably 6, 7 teams have to somehow find their way onto Everest. Because if you look at the circle here, hello Killstill. If you look at this right here, I guess we can draw it up as because there's a little building there. This is rather unplayable. I mean, yeah, there are some areas over here you can actually play. But this area is unplayable. You don't want to get caught in containers, so that's going to be dipped as well. I guess we can say this whole area, if you don't have a compound, or there, is really hard to play from. And if you look at the teams that are up here, they've already crashed into the city. They're already sitting tight inside of Georgia Pole or on Hospital. You can't just swoop around. We're in circle 4 now. Circle's starting to do damage, right? You can't rotate far around the northern side, well, because there's a river going through, so you can't do that either. Had it been any other area of the map, you'd see so many of these teams just go yeehaw all the way around the top, but because of the water, can't really do that. So, so there's only really one gateway, and that's just fight it out, know that you're the last team, and then honestly most likely get taken out by some of the teams that are better positioned than you. DD, they're gonna crash in. As I said, no one's gonna want to sit inside of containers. It's simply too RNG. This just becomes a cluster. A big old cluster. The bottleneck is too small, and now it just bursts out, and everyone's gonna get killed. So many players get eliminated there. Somehow VG manages to contain control of the east side. That's impressive. Also unexpected. RRQ, they're gonna crash up now with the new circle pushing. And again, square it off. Look at the eastern side. There's no fear out here. VG, they have full control. They've been looking out here. They've had one guy down here holding this side for the longest of time. In the meantime, DTN, they have so much to deal with over on the other side. It's not exactly an easy area to fight around. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams trying to crash on through because they all want to get around the south side. This is where you have the cover, right? This is where you can lay low, but no one can get around there because the teams on the top are going to shoot them before they get over there. So TKO, they have only one option left. Cannot go down there, have to push over the top. Need to go and take the fight. Enigma is going to try and come in from behind. That's not going to make things any easier either. DG and VC starts fighting. This just becomes a king of the hill. Like literally king of the hill to the death of most teams. We go south again. So now we have a center point here. And, well, I mean, no one can really go there because it's a big open hill. And even though there aren't really any, nobody wants to play the southern side because they're expecting there to be people behind the trees that will just start shooting up towards them, which they technically are because G1 and Supac, they have to shoot. Like as soon as they get a chance, they need to start shooting. VG have a chance of taking home another win. Was it VC or VG that won the previous game? I'm pretty... Oh, it was maybe VC actually that won the game. Oh, VG that won that game. South we go. Better is only the pros and casters can also have access. You need to purchase access, Killsteel. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm actually not completely sure how it works. But you can reach out to them on Twitter. Other productions. They get full control, contain, win the game. Boom. I hope. Wait, what? Oh, did he almost 1v4 that? Vama knocked. Knocked. And then he dies. Woohoo! Could you imagine? VG, they won the Chinese league, almost getting taken out by a Japanese team in a 1v4. That would have been not so good. They did manage to win it nonetheless. Fortunately, that was the first game of the day. And we'll go into the second. An interesting one too, because VG, they played the North, like they were there from the start. They came up, they knew they had to take the control, and they played it smart from there too. Was it that one? Oh yeah, because we kind of missed the last game, didn't we? I don't know if they actually fixed it. Oh, they have played it now. Okay, good. I was afraid for a second. Let's see. Game number 2 of the day. Game number 8 overall. You have a question? Let's see. Would you like if they featured a drawing pencil inside PUBG? Yes. I have been asking for that for so long that when you're in observer mode, like when you're observing and flying around in PUBG, then if you could just press whatever button to key bind your pencil and then like you can draw, that would be absolutely amazing. That would be very impressive. Very very useful if you could do that. Very very useful. Eastern Plain. Cat, this area not really available, but I guess not really the biggest deal. Again, 3 guys in containers now. Could think Dofus left, he would have been upset, but look at how much they're kicking them out. I guess VG just really wanted South George, and over the course of 4 games, they've pretty much punched them out of there. That's interesting. Even more interesting is that this is a melee game. Not something we've seen a lot of, so that's always fun. Let's see. Before the circle pops, we only have Vipo down here. They don't have to go anywhere, obviously. 4-way split between RJ. There hasn't really ever been any confrontations on the northern side, so it's not a big deal for them to really play it on the south either. 17, did they just rotate straight? Yep, steal the cars. 4 guys in 1 vehicle, by the way. Take new vehicles, split out, get loot. Fortunately, they get to stay 2-2. That's really lucky. DTN, they crash over as well. We'll crash over. Armory Gaming and RJ, they've managed to make their way across. Ooh, now they start fighting. Show is the last one alive in the duo. He has to back off. Show Shocks united again, and Baroli up there too, so they get taken down in the meantime. Let's see how many teams on the north still. Monster Shield, they're not gonna hurry. They knew they were coming in late, so they're not gonna try and go anything aggressive. D, they've taken the boat as well, but as you can see on the far eastern side, Yan Lee has a boat too, so it's not really the biggest issue for them. They do take a car though. And new circle pops. We go on the western side. This is always fun because you have Millie itself is kind of yikes to have to crash to, especially early on. And then you have this whole area up here. I kind of showcased it in, I don't know if you guys watched the GL Grand Slam, but I did showcase this area in particular, this area in the Grand Slam, and how it just makes everything really hard because you can only really play around, and then with the hillside up here too. You should go back and watch that if you haven't already. Very educational. Hey, Ethan. How are you doing, my man? My man. Yeah, so I showcased first of all the field, and second of all how you have this hillside here that is really good. I mean, it's a really good spot to play from, but if you don't have a guaranteed free save, like if you're playing it, let's say the circle goes down this way, right? The circle's down here, and you want to play this area, you can only play it if you know for a fact that this whole area is clear. You need to have a backside that you can fall back to. So if you play it here with a team there, a team there, a team here, a team here, and a team over here, I mean, this becomes unplayable. Because no matter, there's simply too little cover. So as soon as you get to the top, everyone will start shooting at you. And there's nowhere you can back down to heal because you will always be visible to at least one team. So this area is really, really good to play, but you need to make sure that before you go there, that you have cleared, well, just one side. Because if you've just cleared this, boom, you could always go down and play it from here. Just cleared this, you can always back off and play it from here so they cannot see you, right? Really hard to play from because you need to always guarantee a safe spot. So this whole area, I'm not assuming to be taken anytime soon. And it's a pretty big area of the map. I mean, pretty tricky to play through. You can see across, no one takes it. No one's gonna be able to sit here. NM, they're still on the wrong side of the river. Once again, now you can consider playing it if you're BA, right? If you're BA and you clear out Armory Gaming, then you can go up because you know your entire north side is clear. You see now they're pushing up because they're the last team to push in. Whoever wins this fight, they'll get the better of the hillside. Solo player though, not gonna really be useful at all. Ooh, Southern hard shift. So it hard shifts over, circle 4 had to happen, but then it hard shifts again. And this is a yikesy one because, first of all, compound's still in play. So for anyone up here, you can't just rotate over or around actually. You have to go, if you want to go around, you have to go all the way up to Esta pretty much and then push down this way. But for the teams up here, they will have so much vision in this direction that if you're playing the circle on foot from down here, like from up here, then you'll first of all be seen by other teams, and then the guys that are up here who has no pressure whatsoever, they'll be shooting at you as well. So you can't really push in here, on foot at least. If you have a car, you can just crash down, but that's also going to be risky because pretty much before you get out of the vehicle, you're going to get naded, right? So you can crash down from here. So I want to look at, let's just take a look at, okay, before we go, guys in the chat, and girls, sorry. What does DGW do here? What would be the smart play to make? Because we haven't seen it. Some of you guys may have, but I didn't get to watch this game. So, what do they do here? What is the smarter, what's the smarter play to make from this position? Do you crash the compound? Do you try and push around the south side, but you're completely exposed here to anyone over on this side? Do you try and push north around, up to Esta? Do you try and push even further around, maybe? Go through here, but keep in mind, this area is in, and it's a suicide field. What do you do? If you're DGW, you can see they're already in the vehicles. That's a bit of a guidance. 3 guys in vehicles, and Macau is still out. What type of play can you make from this position? I guess the fact that none of you guys are writing anything is because we all know that they're doomed. I only see one play be available because they have a knock on a player up here. So if they commit to that, like park down here, take them out with the circle closing, then they can push over and play the hillside here. And then they just have to deal with being forced to fight on both sides. And then push in 4 guys together. That would be the play for me. But, nope, not gonna happen. They crash. Okie dokie, never mind. Full speed forward. They descended. And they get a compound for free. Because Vibo, they're gonna stop their split, obviously. So whether this is off of knowledge and them knowing that they were leaving. Obviously, Macau... Yeah, he must have heard the vehicle. So that's the play, that's the play. Here's the car drive. It's immediately go down and swoop the position. That's actually a really smart play. I was not really keeping that one in. I thought they were going to keep their split. But nope, they're going to go over to the low ground over here. Which is a little, I don't know, it's a little scary place to play from. Because especially if you have neighbors and you have people that can shoot at you from up here, then you're very limited in what you can do from these buildings. I would assume that they would have split to take this compound instead of that one. But then again, here, if we look at it from a statistic point of view, here we have, let me just draw a different color. We'll take this one. Here you have this entire area with no roads to cross. And down here, you only have this. So if you look at statistics, I'm not gonna do any expert predictions on how many % of the circle these two pieces of pie are. But you can see there's a bigger chance that you don't have to drive anywhere from here, no matter where its circle goes, than here. Odds are that you would have to cross either this road, or like, unless if you get a circle that just goes like this, then you would most likely have to cross. And these roads in the late game, yikes. Hello, buddy. How are you doing? We'll see. We'll see how they rotate on it. It goes north. Well, now they have to cross. They have to push up, but they cannot, like Vibo, they cannot go anywhere before they've dealt with everything underneath. Because if they start pushing up and AHQ start pushing over, then they'll be fighting over here whilst the other teams are pushing up towards them, and then they're just gonna give a free third party to an opponent. They know there's a team here. They know there's a team here. They probably know that that Monster Shield is over here as well. So Vibo, they need to deal with these guys first before they can push up. And if DGW is really smart here, as soon as these two teams starts engaging, that's when they push up and take control. They have to. Like, they have to be super smart in their timing. We'll see if they actually do it. I'm surprised they haven't left already. Because the more time they spend, the more room AHQ will get to take control. One gets aggressive, goes up for the kill. He goes down right now. Where's the push? Where's the push? You're locking yourself in, guys. I know it's difficult because you have Shu in the corner compound. You have Anini over here as well. They have the vehicle. Oh, sure, the tires could have been popped at this point, but they had the room. They had the room to make the cross. When they were fighting 4v4, there's no way in hell they're going to focus on what's coming up here. The only people that would be shooting would be Shu and Anini, and potentially, one of the HQ players. Because Winner, he pushes up, but they're never all the way over. I don't think you can shoot down towards this compound before you're here somewhere. And Milk is playing the low ground. Winner's down there as well. There is room. They could have pushed over, taken the control of the, like there's a little curved dip up here, kind of. Might be that thing right there. They could have crashed into. They have the vehicles too, 4 guys alive. If they die before the cross, see, now they do it. This is the exact same push I wanted them to do earlier. But now they do it. And then they have no control because, I mean, they go down immediately. HQ, they were allowed to just contain them. Had they gone earlier, had they gone there, like as soon as these two teams starts fighting, had they gone there, look at how much more room they had. But because they wait until late, they're already sitting on top of them by the time they get over. It's those small things, man. Yurisan, just popping to say hi. Hope things are well. Thank you, man. They are. I'm doing good. Thank you so much. So when is my guy getting promoted to casting PEL? Ask them. I don't know. I'm just doing what I'm told and enjoying that I'm getting to do as much PUBG as I am. So HQ, they're gonna take the win. I would assume 4v1. Taemin, what can you do? Nothing. He goes down. But interesting game. AHQ, they took control when they had to. AHQ got the room given because teams like DGW, I mean, Vibo couldn't do a lot from down here because they were fighting and fighting the other guys, but because, I mean, DGW, they could have changed the game. They could have won this game by crossing earlier, but they didn't, and it got them killed. Feels bad. But nonetheless, shit happens, and they went down. That was game number 8. We'll go to the last Erangel game of today. Goes the last Erangel game of today. Boop, we'll just pause real quick. Zoomy. I'll just give me 1 second as I take a sip of water and try to stay alive. Always hard to do. What is going on here? Also, I can tell you in the leaderboards currently, Gen.g is in first place. So a good second place they got themselves there. They've had some really, really good placements today. Some really, really good placements today. Now let's see. Let's see. At the circle right now, when they still have hard cover, it wasn't a guarantee the circle would move off the right of them. It was though. I mean, okay. So on what would you rather play? The center of the circle, where you have the dip to play from, or the very corner where you're isolated? You're in a compound, sure, but you have a road to cross. You have teams like once it gets quiet on the eastern side, all the guns will be pointing over on you because they know there's still a team on the other side of the road. The more time you wait, the harder it's going to be to cross that road. And they waited too long. Circle. Oh, that's an eastern one. This is interesting. What does gen.g and Avicii do this game? So Gen, they just go over the top. Are they going to go all the way back, or are they just going to go loot here? Are they actually going to go all the way to George Pole? That is surprising to me. That is actually rather surprising. So obviously with the playing this eastern, teams are going to change up their loot spots. 17 going to go back, split. VC taking control down here. VG, they're not going to go all the way to George Pole. They're just going to go take Stopper. You got me there. I tend to do. I'm super smart, you know. Are you going to do YouTube videos from the... Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. That is what we're doing right now. Every single time I make the YouTube videos, it's always because I did them on the stream. And then I bring them up, like I upload them to YouTube afterwards. So everything you say right now will be on YouTube. Gen.g, I'm surprised that they hard commit to go George Pole in this game. You cannot even see it because of my webcam, but they're over there. In the meantime, center, of course. And again, we had the potato game in yesterday's games. And now we have this field. This whole area. We could even draw more of it in, honestly. This whole area. It's going to be so different for teams to play around. First of all, there's been a billion trees added. Second of all, you have now down here a huge, what do you call? A huge trench with cannons and a tower and whatnot. So it's completely different now, this whole area, than what it is in this tournament. So, and the many games tend to go over in this area of the map. It's going to make it hard to rotate through. It's going to make it hard to do anything from, because there can always be lurking players everywhere. It's going to be really fun to see what's going to happen. Like how the meta is going to change and how the rotations are going to change. Oh, okay. That's east. What do we do here? Prison is a no-go. You don't want to crash yourself out into the forest. So around. Honestly, if you're out here already, just come in from the north. Not a whole lot more you can do. But the thing is, if you crash from the north, where do you play from? You can stay up here. You can play the dip. This is most likely going to be taken by the time any of these teams come over. You can crash the Bufka, but it's going to get shifted away from in 2 circles from now. Beach, you can't do anything from. So you're fucked if you go north, I would say. Unless if you sit in mansion or the forest and hope that the circle comes to you. If you go south, you're pretty much playing on foot from where SR is right now. You're going to have to play on foot from here. And then hope that the circle don't go out and away from where you have your vehicles. Let's see, we'll just slow it down a bit. Gen.g gonna rotate far north. It's a decent idea, but it only works because so many more teams... I mean, teams are obviously listening to what I'm saying. And they all rotate south, because that's where you can keep your vehicles. Whereas if you rotate north, you have to crash something, right? They all rotate south, trying to get some sort of control. And because of that, Gen.g will have more control. So stop, scout, stop, scout, stop, scout, crash, take. Smart plays by Gen.g. Let's just watch that rotation again. We'll act like we don't know anything, right? We'll just sit up here. Over the top. PU goes down. Still nobody shooting. They don't see cars. They don't hear anything. Stop on the top. Scout around. So he stops immediately. You can see he jumps out of the vehicle. Look down towards the compound. Is anyone shooting? Look down here. Is anyone shooting? Look over on the other side. Is anyone shooting? No shots fired. Tamin. Another guy on a bike goes down to the dip. Is anyone shooting? Now they're both looking around. No one's up here. No one's down here. No one's shooting from the Puvka, because he can see into the Puvka from there. Then they send Esther over while they're both holding. And then they can all rotate because of it. That, my friends, is how you rotate. And Gen.g showed it right there. Really smart plays being made by them. So Circle sent us up. Next one has to go away from water. So outside's going to go down here somewhere. Gen.g is going to stay. I mean, everybody that has a compound at this point are going to stay. You're locked down up here because they have teams right next to them. DTN would probably be wiser in pushing down here than up here. Just because lumber is always a cluster. The same Gen.g that won PGI. Well, I mean, it's not the same players. The organization is the same, but they had Gen.g Black and Gen.g Gold back then. Now it's been morphed into one team, and they've changed some players around as well. But the organization is the same, if that's what you're asking. But it's not the same players. Vibo, they're gonna start pushing on over. Again, why are they not getting punished for this? Oh, it's a solo player. Never mind. Melofo, sorry. You're dead. 17 though, they could have pushed up way earlier and tried to take control, because now they're gonna get pinned. This is very confusing to me. And now they start driving around. Where the hell do you go though? Cars, somehow still alive, makes no sense to me. Very, very surprising that they play it like that. We can take a little look real quick. I'll do that for you. PGI 2018. Let's see. So back then, Gen.g Loki was in it. He's still there, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he is. And Esther was there. So those are the only two players that were there then that are still there. Esther and Loki. Let's see, new circle pops. You want to sit here? That's probably the best spot, right? Also because the circle is gonna go there. But this is probably the best spot you can have right now. As long as you can contain the north. I mean, the guys down here can't really do a whole lot too. They have to push around, and because you know there's a team up here. Okay, I'll take this one slowly. The reason that this spot up here, I call it the half pipe, and the plateau up here, is good to play from, is as long like your only main task when you play this spot, when there's still multiple teams alive, not when it's one team versus one team, but when there's still multiple teams alive, is that the only real task you have is to make sure no one can push in from the top. As long as you can contain this, then the guys from the bottom, the only way they can push towards you is around. And if you know there's a team in the field, most likely they will shoot at the team pushing around here. Like they'll shoot at the guys pushing around here, so that you will have a warning if they start shooting down here. Oh my god, players are coming around here as well. And then most likely they will have taken bullets, and then you can fight them off, right? So it's easy to transition over to that side. Same thing north. These guys can't really do anything to crash you, because if they do, these guys will shoot at them. Or these guys will shoot at them before they even get there. So you will have the upper hand in that fight too. If these guys decide to push out towards the hillside, there's most likely going to be a team up here somewhere. They will be able to spot them. All the guys on the other side will spot them. All the guys up here will be able to see them as well. So no matter who is engaging you, and no matter which side they're coming from, you have help, so to say. The only place you don't really get any assistance is from above. So as soon as you clear this, then you can deal with everything else. But you have to clear this. And you can see they're allowing them to push down now. That's where it gets dangerous, because someone needs to sit on the south, like on the northern side, and make sure no one third parties, right? So they now have to back off and make more room. Like they have to give room to their opponents. What they had to do in the beginning was to clear this. Had they pushed down here, cleared these guys, they could all then have set up here and taken control. But now they constantly need to commit, I want to say 2 players actually, to making sure that nobody can push in from the south. Or to make sure that they're dealt with. Because right now, while all these guys are crashing around, you can see as soon as they push around, people start shooting at them. They cannot engage in it because they know there's a team down here. As soon as they start fighting with the DTN or detonator, they would have to push up towards them. Like that would be the only smart play to make. And because they didn't deal with them earlier, it becomes the downfall. Or potentially the downfall. Gen.g, good circle again for them. They just have to make sure no one's pushing in the open. They do exactly that. 1 down, 2 down. Esther will get the rest back on up, and they can now focus on what's at hand. They can push around. They know they're the last team. They push up and around. They get cornered in the middle. Like to push around here from the side, but not a whole lot you can do. And does he win it? Does Under actually win it? So Under is a solo from this point. He's a solo. So it's a 3-man team, a duo, and a 3-man team. Ha! This is a smiley face. And Under is a solo. And he actually wins it. That is that's the dream scenario for a solo player. Let the Giants fight it out, and you can sneak your way to a good placement. In this case, a win. That's a pretty damn fortunate set of circumstances for him and the team. That was game number 9, and now we'll head on over to game. Oops, not that one. Game number 10. Let's just see if we can all fit in the box. Ah, kind of. It all to fit. A little. There you go. It all fits. That was game number 9. We'll go to game number 10 overall. So let's just count it up. Was that the last Erangel game? Yes. So now we're going over to Mirror. Game number 10. And again, questions, throw them my way. Eastern Circle. Let's just see if teams are doing the same splits that they have been so far. VC. Exactly what they've been doing so far. 17, what they've been doing so far. DD, nothing new under the sun. And unless they're going to go north instead of south, the plane wasn't really that good for south anyway. You can see only like one team. Well, I guess 2 teams went Los Leones. This split, again, it's very surprising to me. The fact that VG does this, I'm not sure how they're allowed to do it or how they can even maintain that split for as long as they have been able to. Ojalalele, hello, buddy. How are you doing? Monster, they're gonna push underneath the bottom side here. Center is gonna be hard to play from. Normally we always talk about how everyone wants to go center, but in this center you have Minas. Nobody really wants to sit Minas. Then you have the compounds around, those you can take, and here as well, but it's pretty hard for more than one team to really sit on the top. We'll see how many teams actually decide to commit over. Also, if you're TKO, I mean, look at how thinly split they are right now. These guys have no way of providing useful info to their teammates. Somehow, though, they're allowed to push over. That is very surprising to me. They get like a dream 3-way split, completely uncontested. That is pretty fortunate. Pretty damn fortunate. DTN, they're gonna push in from the south. 7, they're gonna start getting their show on. Again, this road, we all hate it. I've mentioned it in the Grand Slam as well. Nobody likes it. Fortunately, now it shifts away to a certain extent. Gen.g rotates late? That's not a big surprise. That's not a late rotation. The only thing that's strange to me is that they actually get to play this thinly split with somewhat center control and no one's contesting them. I mean, we did lose one player there, but that's not that late for Picado. I think one of the reasons they would do this is I mean, they always play Edge anyway. Which is why it's super strange to me that they loot Picado when they're an Edge team. But look at the splits we have going up here. I mean, there's no way, and these guys, they've had like a this split in one of the previous games. There's no way for Gen.g to know what is going on. And if they rotate super early, I mean, I don't know, they could 4-man crash something. But maybe it's them not getting the loot they wanted, or I don't know. But you can see they all have to share vehicles, go over together, and now they start rotating. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that late. I mean, you can see they're still trying to go in and take control. They scout further forward. Loki, I believe, is the one to push over. No, it's Tamin pushes over, gets killed. I'm just surprised that they get to take this much room, completely uncontested early on. Oh yeah, there's plenty of teams that rotate before them, but I think they know that AHQ is gonna push further in. Like, there's no reason for AHQ in this circle to sit where they are. And I guess the only fear they could have would be Armory Gaming taking the spot down here, but they decide to go uphill. It's scary. They rotate blind. Crazy things do happen every now and again. But this circle, though, that's where it gets really funny, because even though, I mean, we talked about this whole river road, I want to call it, up here being a crap place to rotate through or around. Now it's out of the picture, so it doesn't really matter too much anymore. It's still everything south of. We'll draw up the road here for you. It's just so separated. This is crazy high ground, and then you have La Bandita, but everything else is just open. I mean, the fields down here are completely open. Sure, you have the compounds here, here, and here. Fields here as well, really, really open. And as long as there are some teams with any sort of high ground control, we're talking here, we're talking here, up here. As long as they're in play, you can't really play those dips in the open because you're going to be spotted. Down here as well. The road is almost like a river, exactly. It's like you can't, you don't want to go through it at all. I'll call it River Road from now on, just because that's funny. So another thing is, if you're rotating in from the west, you would most likely assume that there's a team here, or as we see here with AG, there'll be a team up here, meaning that this entire place, which is also a big open field, we'll draw a skull here, I think. Just because. That's a yikes, right? By the way, don't question my skulls. They're super majestic. This is where you don't go, unless if you want to die. Which means that for all these teams, this is a yikes place to go, right? We all agree on that. So for all these teams, 1, 2, 3, DD potentially. Now they're a little earlier to it, so it's not too bad for them. But BA as well. 4 teams that could have gone over here around this way in any other circle. Look what happens. They all have to go around this way. Okay, so 17 actually goes through. But nonetheless, the other 3 teams that try to go around the other direction. And if this circle then goes north again, that's where it gets extremely difficult, because all of a sudden now we have those open fields that you have to traverse through, and that's where it gets suicidal. BA, they have to stay. They had a fight that took too long. Circle, Centers, and Minas. Ugh. Nobody likes Minas. At this point, obviously, people will go there, but still. You have a huge hillside. The thing is, for anyone down here, they cannot push up before they know that they're the only one team in the south. I talked about this with the face game that they ended up winning as well. Same thing with Minas. If the circle goes south, you can't cross over until you know you're the last team in Minas. So whichever side you commit to now, you have to lock down until, well, one of the last circles. Just send it Minas. Well, I mean, there's room. But if the circle goes away from Minas, then you're fucked. Pretty safe and sound. And also where, that's the issue, right? The only teams that have any reason, if you're RRQ right now, no reason to go Minas. If you're VG now, right now, no reason to go Minas. Armory Gaming, perfect position in the north. DD, perfect position in the west. And then you have VG, they're still kind of split, but they have control over here, so no reason to send it in. The only team that could have any reason to do so would be DTN. They have the safe, like, they have the knowledge at least, but they know there are teams around that will shoot at them too. So the only teams that have a reason to go Minas would be these teams. But if you look at those 3 teams, how the swear word do you get to Minas? There's no way in hell Vipo, even though running is a crazy rotator and he just sends it through everything, there's no way in hell they're going to be able to snake their way up there. Or like this. Or like this. Or like this. Or like this. I mean, there's no way in hell they can crash Minas. TKO, nope. 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 BA might be the only team that to a certain extent has a chance, but you can see already now, 17 they're starting to split out because they know teams are going to be coming from up here. So the only thing they could do is this, but then I'm pretty sure Armory Gaming would have an angle on them from here all the way over to here. So that would be just them being shot at all the way while they're rotating there. pretty suicidal. So they just have to play it slow, which means no one crashes Minas. See, they crash, they die. They try to push forward, they don't have room. TKO, they try to crash. Well, they don't get killed, but now they are. There's no way for them to take Minas control. DD, they could take it. DTN could technically as well, and now they have a chance to. And once again, we split it that even. It's a horrible scenario. You can't rotate around because Labandita is in the bottom. You can't rotate above because Minas is on the top, right? It's just two counter poles on each their side of the circle, and there's nothing to play in the center. Like that, you cannot play this area until you have the south clear. They're just playing. I think VC there. I mean, they're not even rotating. Are we talking VC like Vici or VG? I hate that those two teams are in the same tournament and the same league. Vici Gaming and VC Gaming. They crash in, force a fight with Armor Gaming. They push down. They knew they were weak. Try to time the fight, but it doesn't really work out for them. Now they're in a stalemate. Same thing again. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing you can do. What the hell are these shifts, game? First you force us to go into the open where nobody wants, like this is just dead man space. And then you pull this one on us. If you're DGW right now, you're just going to be sitting down there and be like, yeah. Yeah, gen.g as well. They've been lucky. Gotta say, gen.g, I mean, they are in first place, but they sure as hell have had some circles going their way too. They get eliminated there. Not a whole lot more they could do from that spot. Even though they get the circle, there are so many people around them. The compound down here becomes a hellhole. Nothing you can do from there either. You can try and take center control now. Nope, you cannot. I mean, if you're DGW, you just have to contain. You just have to make, like, yep, exactly. This is a perfect play. It's a small thing, but instead of just sitting on the hilltop and trying, like, because you know it's just gonna shift away from you. You're sitting up here, and you have the cover. You can see they make sure that no one can push in from either side. And instead of just sitting, well, let's draw it another color. Instead of just sitting up here, they need to go out and physically, like, push people out. So they say, you know, we'll focus on the eastern side, and that's a perfect play. CC goes out, tries to deal with AHQ. They get the help there, and now they can turn around because they know they have the entire east side clear. Now they can turn around and focus on what happens over here. 4 guys alive still, by the way. Really impressive for them to stay up with 4 through these rotations. Do they win it with 4 as well? They do. That is actually extremely impressive. I want to see, did they play La Bandita early? Yeah, they did. Okay. So they went to La Bandita. And that's the thing. You have to, if you're playing La Bandita, you have to, like, physically with the elbows shove everyone away. As soon as you let teams come close to you, if you don't have breathing room, you're just gonna get, I mean, choked. There's no way in hell you're gonna be able to make it out of La Bandita if you don't have some sort of a gateway to the edge of the crater itself. So really impressive that they managed to do it. Also, I heard in the casters earlier today in the tournament, they said that through game 11, this game included, I don't know, I didn't get to see the final one, but through game 11, there was not one team, like there was not one team with multiple wins at game 11 for a 16-team tournament, and only having different winners. That's pretty impressive. Like, that is very impressive. Let's see. Game 11. We'll get into it. We'll get straight on into it. Oop. Northern Plain, Northern Circle. Interesting. gen.g down in Picado. D, they're gonna loot their split in Impala. Are they still gonna do? Okay, so VG, they can't really do their split anymore. Or can they? No. Okay, so VG, they have been doing this really strange, all over the place kind of split, but now they're kind of committing themselves more to El Pozo, which I must say that I'm a big fan of. Like, you can loot 2 teams in El Pozo. It's rare. It's actually, it's very rare. Mainly because they're, I don't know, I feel like it's often planes don't really allow for good El Pozo drops, but it's rare to see 2 teams do it in El Pozo, even though it's actually doable. So it kind of happens here. DTN and VG share that area. BA, they're going to rotate over the top. Makes perfect sense, even going all the way out of the map. And everyone else are coming in from the sides. And of course, we all know this area. I don't know what you want to call it. I can draw it up for you. And then you have something going down this way. That, yeah, exactly. This is a horrible place to play PUBG. I don't know, Bjorn, you can probably agree with me on that. I think very few teams really enjoy playing around these two craters. But for some reason, magnets have been dragging players up towards La Copraria and this crater so many times before. You don't want to sit in the crater, you get fucked. You don't want to sit on top of the crater early because it's really hard to make sure that teams are on their elephant, exactly. It's the elephant. It's really hard to make sure that if you're in the middle, that teams aren't around you. And even more so with circles like these popping, you cannot play anything here. Because if there are teams in any of the compounds down south, it's impossible to play the tops. If you have to fight a team on the top there, and there are teams sitting and shooting from any side down there, it's practically impossible to do anything from the hilltop. Even though you're up high, you have all the vision in the world, you can't you can't use the vision because people are constantly shooting at you. So for teams that are rotating in now, this pretty much becomes unpushable, which means that if you're from here and you're rotating in blind, you don't know if there's anyone there, don't know if this is taken, no info down here whatsoever. You can't just send it through unless if you're running. Of course, he just sends it all the time. But you can't just send it through. You need to go, stop, scout. Go, stop, scout. Go, stop, scout. While you're getting shot at, while a lot of things are happening around you, and it's going to be very time consuming too. So if you're AHQ, I would assume them to go up here kind of thing and try and scout forward and then want to push around on either side. I would be surprised to see them go up on the hilltop. Let's see what they decide to do. Like, you have to avoid this area. DD, they push up because they had time to scout, so they saw it was clear, and they saw Armory Gaming up here and saw them leave as well. Now HQ, they're coming from the top. So nobody wants to play this side, exactly. Pushing all the way around. New circle pups. Wow. It's been a long time since I've had a game end up here. Like, Crater Fields has happened, like Copraria has happened, and the whole area down here too. But actual, like, northwest of Crater Fields, that is a very rare ending. And again, hilltops or crater tops, everything else is yikes. If you have a compound now, you're just going to lock it down, and you're going to hope you have, like, that you won't need to rotate anywhere after this. That's pretty much all you you can really play around. Hope that you don't have to go anywhere once you've locked down your spot. We'll see new circle pups. And of course you go back towards La Copraria. These circles, they always go over there. And now if you're in the open and you're Vibo, how are you going to rotate? If you're any of the teams on the backside, you can't push through. You have to go around the south. Because once you're in the north, if you start playing the hillsides down here, then all of La Copraria can see you. And of course they don't know that there's no one up here, or only one team. So the only real play you can make is around the south side. Unless you just want to crash something, which it looks like gen.g wants to. Yeah, they just crash. And crash. And go to the city. But once you're in the city, you're isolated to this. And there's no way, or like at least very little chance, that you get to push out from there, right? So, dangerous rotation. They get all their people taken down except for just Loki. One player left for Monster Shield. Circle goes into Crater Fields again. Jesus Christ, these games, they're not being... Like, these circles are just brutal. Absolutely brutal. I've never seen 4 teams in Crater Field before. I don't think so, at least. 3 teams up here as well. It is pretty damn tricky to play around. Everyone's forced to fight on the edges because this whole area is inaccessible. Vibo, they're sitting dead center on the circle. Should be able to get some kills from here. The gen tried, like, this is just horrible. This whole area is practically unplayable unless if you're Vibo in the middle. You can see nobody can get in there. Nobody can make a push forward. And there's still one more circle, right? Yeah. So last one goes north. Fortunately for these guys up top, but still not exactly easy. Vibo, they're just gonna chill for as long as they can. RJ, they play this one smart. I like how they're moving. You can see this. They're sitting down south. They were kind of locked in the shacks here for a while. But once the next circle forces them to leave, Look at how early they move. They have heard the fight happening between Armory Gaming and DD. And if they don't make a move early, they're gonna get fucked. So they send up Wesker. He takes the ground. And they know if we can just get up here and contain them before they make the run through, we have a potential to make a play here. Really, really smart position, like rotation. He comes up, gets the kill off to 1. General goes around, gets taken down. Like, this is just Wesker. Really, really great play from him. Making sure that they have all the control on the east side. Which allows for them. Like, once Show is down, then they know. We've just eliminated 4 teams on the east side. Look at the way they can split now and take control. That is extremely well played by Rascal. Like, really, really well done. Do they win the game? No. So Viper wins it off of the position that they had. But gotta give it to Rascal. They were playing that game actually like really, really, really good. They were locked down for a while. They knew they couldn't do a lot, but this push from Wesker up top to contain Armory Gaming and DD, that is extremely smart. Those plays that not a lot of teams make, but they made it work nonetheless. Interesting one where, I mean, it's always a cluster when you come up to the northwest side. It's more of who can somehow make a play out from there than, like, who can make those type of plays that Wesker just did and have the awareness in the situation to call those or like pull those plays off. It's more that than just people dying. Like, I want to see how many people actually got killed in vehicles in this game, because I feel like everyone was just getting screwed on on their rotations all over. But nonetheless, last game of today. Finished not too long ago. Decent playing for everyone. No one's gonna be whining about that one, unless if you're hard committed Val Del Mar team. And Circle goes to Chuma. Huh. Circle goes to Chumacero. VG, they're gonna take their split once more. VC with this one as well. I'm surprised to see that they've been doing this split throughout the entire tournament so far, and they haven't really been contested in anything. Now let's see what happens here. Rough to rotate through. Graveyard, you can go down and over. You don't want to go through Loss, so that's gonna be cut off. So you have a, oops, no, don't rotate. Don't rotate. Rotate. So this is a access point. This is an access point from down here. And I guess you can rotate west as well if you want to. There's plenty of room. But somewhat limited in your rotation opportunities for teams that are up on the northern side. Also, you need to know that the Picardo team has made the leave. They indeed do, so they start making their way down towards that area of the map. Circle center, nobody wants to commit Chumacero early. I'm surprised to see no one's taken church yet. It's, again, probably one of those where if you don't get it early, then there's got to be a team up there at that point, right? So therefore no one goes. But the fact that no, oh wow. Okay, so that's a hard shift. This is a rare occasion of a hard shift. Now this is interesting because we'll draw it in red so it's easier to show up. People, they will expect there to be teams in Chumacero, so they will not want to drive through there. At least I wouldn't expect that to be the case. This hilltop is normally taken, so that's going to be hard to rotate over unless if you can scout it from over here somewhere. So you can go all the way around south. I guess we should draw it up like this. You can go all the way around south. You can come in from way over here. And because there's such a cluster up here, this becomes really, like, this becomes extremely hard to rotate through too. So you pretty much only have the sides available on either one of them. You can see north around, north around, north around, north around, south around. And you see, I mean, I can do this I haven't even watched this game, and just by seeing the circle pop, I can, of course not 100% guaranteed, but if you as a viewer can set yourself into the player's mind, then it becomes, I mean, at least to me, extremely fun to watch these tournaments, because there's always patterns. There's, like, if you can start thinking like a player, then you can start predicting what teams will do. And then if you get to become a player at some point yourself, if you are a player, it makes it so much easier to try and pinpoint what your opponent's about to do, depending on what info they have available. Circle, away from water we go. back towards Chuma, and this is just a horrible place to have an ending. I mean, hilltop, hard to get to with cars. This up here is shit to drive around in. You can't really drive around up here. It's just open plateaus on the top of everything. And there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams that have to make their way in. If BA is smart in this situation, they just go back where they came from and go up here. That would honestly be the smartest play. There's no reason in the hell that you would want to cross over there. Just go back where you came from, tank the blue, and go up. If you're RJ, I don't know. You have to go up here and try and scout something, but there's gonna be nothing. I mean, you won't get any info, so you just have to crash the mountain blind somewhere. Oh, BA, are they doing it? Yes, thank you guys. Or you can just swim over, I guess. Yeah, smart place. Have a boat, even better. And run up. That's actually a really, really smart play by BA. I like to see that. Really smart play. Get themselves 2 buggies, start driving. Look at the amount of room you have on the east side now. Of course, this is a big field, so it's arguably not really playable. But there's so much room on the east. Oh, wow. So much room on the east compared to the north. And now we have a whole other factor in play. This is a huge uphill run. Like everything up here is uphill running. This is like the pin, or like the pivotal point. The hilltop formation is up here. So everything west of this is uphill. This is all uphill, and this is all downhill towards Chumacera. That's a really bad example, but I think you know what I'm trying to draw here. Like how it's supposed to look. Which means that not only do you have to fight the guys next to you, but you also have to rotate uphill, means no cars, no nothing. And it's just going to take more time. There are plenty of areas around here where you can't just like birds straight line it. You have to go and like up to the top because it's tricky terrain to maneuver around in. In the meantime, you're getting shot at not only by the teams right next to you, but also by these guys that haven't rotated yet. So really, really, really difficult area to maneuver in, and brutal hard shifts for a lot of these players. But of course, the viewers, they probably love it, seeing all the chaos. That's why we got Sanok, right? And yeah. These circles, man, they just continue to be ruthless. This is a really difficult hilltop to play. Unless if you have the south clear, you can play this hilltop. Whichever team wins this fight would be in a good position to go up here. But if the next circle then goes north, then they're going to be completely screwed trying to get down from there. AHQ, they have a good position in the center. VC, they're going to chill in Chumacera for as long as they can. Dogmans, there's no way. I mean, he could try and push out here and take the top, but they don't have info up here. They don't have any info over towards Chumacera, so they're just down in the dip. But they need to get away from this dip before all these teams start pushing on over. That's the issue for them. They need to start moving around. And they do exactly that. You see? You know exactly what's going to happen. Just about setting yourself in the mind of the players. Gen.g, push out, control the south so that you have the potential to make the push down that way, should it come down to it. They do still have vehicles too, that's always good. Last circle, pups. I guess it's the second to last. Gen.g, they know they had teams eliminated up here, and now they see the fight happening too, and they just full on send it. I like it. Sometimes you just gotta commit to it, and they do. And they know, as I said before, if you're the last team that have the position, then you can go up and take hill control, and that's exactly what they do from here. Go up to the top. And now they have view of everything. Like, they can see everything in this circle. Gen.g. They might be on the edge. And I was going to say the circle could shift away from them. But they go into this final circle knowing everything. At least they have had a chance to scout everything from where they are. So whether they make it down the hill or not, they still have a chance to make a good decision off of it. Push down, hold off AHQ and VC in the city. Still 4 guys alive. Perfect play. Eliminate both of them. Still 4 guys alive. Armory Gaming playing it good as well. And who dares to take center? There's a bit of a, I guess, is it down, flat, uphill, downhill kind of situation. You have the road here, then it's, whoops, then it's uphill, and then it's downhill. Look at the way they're splitting. Full control, 2 guys on each side, spread out, take them out. This is perfect. I mean, perfect play by Gen.g. Ever since they get into the circle down here, like ever since they start fighting the guys as they move in here, third partying, boom, boom, boom. You can see all the shots fired down towards the southern side. Come up, clear the top, push up. Come out, scout, clear the top, make sure that you have one, like, because when they sit up here now and this circle pops, they can dictate, like they can decide, do we want to clear to Masera and play it from there, or do we want to push down the hill and play it from there? Only issue is that if you jump down here, I'm pretty sure that you're going to take a lot of damage, so they're kind of forced to go around this way. But before going down here, they make sure to know exactly how these other teams are located, so that once they do clear this, which they have to do fast, which is why they pretty much sprint through it, they now know exactly where all their opponents are, and they can split out 2-2 and deal with them. Exactly how you want to play these situations. Gen.g, we've seen them do so many times in these games today and yesterday. Their rotation's on point. The way they're scouting when they're moving is on point. They're honestly, thank you microphone, they're having a hard time dealing with VG in their early phase up by South George. But they're just letting them have what they want, and they're not really arguing with anyone or anything. So gen.g, they're a dangerous team, man. They're really, really dangerous, and they're playing super smart. But that's gonna be it for me for this video. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next one.